How do I create lighting for my animations? This is a part of the animation process that really intrigues a lot of people, at least from what I've seen. In the industry, software like Adobe After Effects will be used for compositing. However, I don't use it personally. Instead, I use Krita and Davinci Resolve. Also, quick disclaimer, my methods for compositing isn't the right or best way. I'm simply showing how I go about approaching lighting that works for me personally. So please keep that in mind. Here we are in Krita with her animation, which I like to put in a group layer so I can clip any layers above specifically on the characters themselves. I first have a layer shadow set to multiply. The darkness and color of this shadow really depends on your animation setting. For an example, this animation takes place in a very dimly lit museum, so the lighting is going to be pretty dark. I also add a gradient of shadow set to multiply that fades out near the top to add some extra depth. With a layer set to addition, I like to add a highlight to the character's eye, which really makes the animation pop. Now here is the fun part, adding the room lighting to the animation. Make sure you right click the character's layer group itself, as on a software such as Krita or Photoshop, there is a menu called Layer Styles, where you have the option to add some very cool effects. But today we're here for Inner Shadow, with the blend mode set to linear dodge. In this little panel you can change the color and opacity of the room lighting, and the angle here changes the direction of the lighting. Distance is how thick or thin you want the lighting to be around the rim of the character, and the size changes the softness of the lighting itself. Now that the room lighting is sorted, I'll add some additional gradient lighting starting from the top of the characters, which is either set to addition or color dodge. It really depends what you're going for, and you may think that we are done. However, I like to add some extra color correction and lighting in DaVinci Resolve to really bring my animations to the next level. In the color editor, I like to experiment with the curve editor to emphasize some of the shadows and highlights, as well as adjust some settings on the color wheel. When it comes to this animation, I felt like the Krita export was a bit too warm and joyful for the tone I really wanted to convey, so I used the color wheel to bring out some of the more cooler hues to make this shot a little bit more cold and unsettling. In the edit tab, I add in a vignette around the edges of this shot to help draw the viewer's eye into the characters. And I add a light ray effect set on Bloom Harsh, which gives the highlights a very soft glow. However, depending on your lightness, this effect can be very intense and wash out your lovely animations. So I like to keep this effect pretty subtle, and that's how I create lighting for my animations. I hope this helped.